What's up guys, this is NeverGo 101 and this is my first video of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. In today's video we'll talk about traffic patterns and landings. But first of all, I wanted to try the flight training in this game and see how good it is compared to real-life flight training. So currently I'm working as a flight instructor in one of the many flight schools in Florida. I have over than 1,000 hours of dual given, and I'm teaching private pilot licenses, instrument rating, and commercial multi and single engine. In my career I've flown Cessnas, Pipers, and twin engines like Duchess and Seminole. So as I said before, I'm going to give you some pro tips from a CFI of how to do a proper traffic pattern and get improved in your landing. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the traffic pattern tutorial, and I'll give you my opinion if it's good or not and how could we make it better. Now if you want to skip the tutorial of the game, you can just jump ahead 5 minutes and I'll show you exactly step by step of how to do a traffic pattern.
Let's be honest, no one likes going around in circles, unless you're a pilot training on traffic patterns. Sedona's standard traffic pattern follows a 1,000-foot altitude around the main runway. By the time we're through here, you'll know how to complete the full run from takeoff to landing. So let's get started.
Alright, full power, release the parking brake, and as soon as we roll you can see that the airplane want to go left, so we're going to put the right rudder, and it want to go left because of the left yawing tendencies of the airplane, such as P factor, slipstream, and it's very evident during ground rolls. Okay, I'm keeping the right rudder there, and I'm looking for
when we're up,
65,
keep us aligned with the runway
knots.
and climb to 5,400 feet. We're going for a left-hand traffic pattern.
Usually for VY climb, you want to put the nose, the cowling, on the horizon. But because we don't have a horizon, we have the mountains there, which are hiding the horizon, we're going to put the nose where it gives us 67 knots. So right about here, that's 67 knots. They want us to climb to 5,400. And we're a bit slow, so I'm just going to pitch down a little bit.
Once we reach altitude, you're going to start turning left 90 degrees toward a 122-degree heading. Okay, we're in the pattern. Get ready to enter the crosswind section.
Alright, so
Good.
I'm going to
Keep
turn
going
down.
till you reach the traffic pattern altitude of 5,700 feet.
I'm going to keep
Ready to make
climbing.
your left turn downwind? When the runway appears at the halfway point of your wing strut, you'll know you're at a good glide distance.
I'm turning to heading of 120, which is about 90 degrees from the runway heading. And you want to see that the wing is parallel to the runway. And they want us to turn to down 700. I'm going to pitch down a little bit. And gain some more speed and increase the power. So now you want to look at your strut and see where it touches the runway. Now if it touches the runway at the half of the strut, you're in a good
We've got
distance.
the wind at our back now. We're on the right track.
So as you
Lower
can
your
see,
nose to a cruise attitude and reduce power to 2,100
the runway is about
RPMs.
to touch the
Once your
strut
speed is in
in
the
the
white
half strut.
arc, add 10 degrees of flaps to prep us for
So we're in a
landing.
good distance. Now they want us
Now's
to
not a
put
bad time to check
one
if
of
the
the
runway
flaps
is
now,
looking good.
which is pretty weird.
And it probably goes without
Oh,
saying,
that's fine.
always
Go.
watch out for other planes entering or exiting the pattern.
That is correct. Before we turn, we need to make sure that
We're
we
gonna fly
clean the
past
turn.
the end of the runway here. Keep going until you see it at a 45-degree angle behind you. cue to turn left again onto the base leg.
Alright, 5,700 feet. I want to look for 80 knots. And now we're going to look for 45 degrees from our shoulder. Now they're using a pretty much an old school method of traffic pattern of just cutting the power to idle, and then on final judge yourself and put the flaps and the power and the nose. I'm gonna teach you more common use traffic pattern, more organized one, which is probably gonna make it much easier for you.
Alright, reduce power to idle to start losing altitude
idle.
and maintain cruise attitude. Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn.
Which is VG.
That'll also keep our speed around 65 knots.
65. I'm just gonna keep turning to the runway because they just want me to glide my way to the runway. So I want to make sure that I'm gonna turn to the numbers. And pretty much here I need to, probably gonna need to add some power.
There we go. The runway's in full view. Make sure to keep the plane centered on approach.
60 knots. I'm gonna put full
If you're
flaps.
too high, add flaps. Too low, add power to maintain the glide path.
Yeah, it's an old school method. So I'm aiming for the numbers. I want to put the numbers around 4 fingers above the dashboard. As the numbers go below me, it's time to level off, reduce the power, look at the end of the runway, take the power to idle, bleed the airspeed and start to flare. Slowly flare, hold the nose, beautiful. I'm gonna do touch and go, flaps up, full power. And I'm gonna teach you a better way to do traffic pattern. More organized one and easier. Alright, again we're gonna climb to 5400. And then we're gonna make sure right center left is clear and we're gonna turn to crosswind. I'm looking for 67 knots. Make sure you're not drifting away right or left from the runway center line. It happens with windy every day usually. And that's 5,400 feet. I'm gonna turn. Reduce the nose a little bit. Keep 67 knots. We're turning to heading of 120. I'm gonna look left and try to see when is my runway parallel to my wing or to the strut. Maybe now. Alright, perfect. And also it's a good time to turn to downwind now. I'm gonna level off at 5,800 feet, which is about 1,000 feet above field of elevation. And I'm turning now to heading of 030, which is downwind. And I'm gonna let the airspeed go up and use the power to 100 RPM, goes up here. Alright, so my aiming point is gonna be the 1,000 foot marker. Now what is the 1,000 foot marker? It's that guy here. Alright. So when we're abeam, the 1000 foot marker, which means our wing is perpendicular to that 1000 foot marker, I'm gonna take the power down to 15, put one notch of flaps, and hold the nose until I get the airspeed of 70 knots. Alright, still not a beam, but getting there. And a beam powered to 15. One notch of flaps, make sure you're in the white arc. And pitch down a little bit and catch the 70 knots. Now you're gonna pitch down a little bit below the horizon. So imagine that you have 6 fingers between the dashboard to the horizon, and we're looking for the 45 degrees point from the runway, which is about now. And as I'm turning, I'm gonna pitch up a little bit and reduce the power a little bit to bleed out the airspeed to 65. And I'm turning base, same thing like crosswind. I want to stop when the wings perpendicular to the runway. Second notch of flaps, and I want to look for 65 knots, a bit slow, so just go to power. Make sure you keep descending. Alright, that's 65, and now I need to turn to final. And I'm looking for 60 knots. And now when I'm on final, I'm going to put full flaps. Now this position, you want to put the numbers or the start of the runway around 4 fingers above the dashboard. Okay? And also you can see that I'm putting the start of the runway at the first third part of the windshield. If you take the windshield and divide it to 3, this is in the first third part of the window, and that's where you want to keep it. Alright, 60 knots. Knots. As we're getting closer to the threshold, you will see the numbers go below you. Okay, so that's the time, that's a signal for you to start level off. Level off means you're gonna be parallel to the runway, and then you're gonna look at the end of the runway and you want to start flaring. Alright, idle. That's parallel to the runway. Look at the end of the runway and start the flare. Bleed out the airspeed. Flare. Pull. 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 Hold it.
You weren't really supposed to land there.
Stop.
It's well done, don't get me wrong. Just not what was expected. Way to stick the landing. Now just apply the brakes to slow your roll. And make sure you don't stop on the runway, of course.
Yeah, so that's my tutorial of how to do proper traffic pattern, and I hope it will help you guys. And if you want to subscribe or give me a thumbs up, or ask for additional content from CFI, that would be great. Thank you for watching, and you have an awesome weekend.